The Last Night on Elm Street. Chapter 1. The Whispers of Home. I stepped onto Elm Street, the familiar pavement beneath my feet after 2 long years of distance. The college campus had swallowed me whole, but summer was here now, and it seemed to whisper promises of freedom and reprieve. My childhood home loomed ahead with a warm glow emanating from the windows, an inviting embrace that made the chill in my bones dissipate slightly. A part of me hoped nothing had changed. I had left this place with dreams of academia and promise, not the darkness that once haunted our walls. The porch creaked underfoot as I climbed the steps, the worn wooden boards a gentle reminder of countless summer evenings spent lost within the pages of novels or watching the stars twinkle to life from this very spot. The front door swung open with ease, revealing the same living room where laughter and tales of youthful adventures filled our days. Shadows danced along the walls as if trying to recapture pieces of memories past. I wandered through each room, taking in the musty air that clung to every surface, a testament to my parents' absence during their work trip abroad for the summer. The silence was eerie yet comforting, like slipping back into an old pair of shoes. It wasn't long before I realized it was not just silence. As night began to fall, whispers started, soft murmurs that seemed to emanate from somewhere within these walls and then fade away, leaving me questioning what my ears had really heard. They were almost indistinguishable at first, but grew louder with each passing moment, drawing closer. At dusk, I settled into the armchair in the corner of my room, a journal clutched tightly in hand as sunbeams danced through the curtains, painting the space in an ethereal glow. The echoes intensified. Fragments of whispers blended together to form a language that sounded vaguely familiar. Curiosity overpowered me. I leaned closer to the wall, the wood cool against my forehead, straining to decipher more than just the rhythm of the voices. It was then, with the first true nightfall outside, that distinct words became audible. Run. Don't let them find you. They were hushed but urgent. A warning, perhaps? My pulse quickened in response. The house, once an anchor of comfort, now felt like an ancient vessel on the cusp of unburdening secrets. The next evening, I returned with a recorder, pressing it to the plaster as voices escalated from soft murmurs to full-throated pleas. Whispers of despair and dread. One phrase caught my attention. I didn't mean for this to happen. Fear crept up my spine, and I hastened to transcribe the haunting phrases. These were not the innocent stories of childhood nightmares. They spoke of pain. After dusk, as a warm breeze carried them closer still, an unmistakable name became clear amidst the cacophony. Mama. The word echoed through the house with desperation, followed by ragged breaths and pleading voices that weren't my own. I couldn't shake the feeling we were not alone here. A chill raced along my spine as moonlight cast inky shadows across the floor. I huddled beneath a blanket, pen poised over paper, listening for any additional clues to unravel the enigma. Footsteps tapped from upstairs. A pattern of light steps followed by silence, repeated multiple times. I rose on shaking legs and climbed the creaky stairs. Each door was closed save one. My parents'. The bedroom door hung slightly ajar as it had during their hasty departure 2 years prior. It stood between childhood memories and adulthood, now an unsettling portal into the unknown. Inhaling deeply for courage, I pushed it open, dreading what secrets or dust might await. A single item on their nightstand, my father's leather wallet, drew me closer. Its contents were sparse. No ID card or cash, but a faded photograph of us and a newspaper clipping dated decades ago, captioned "Local Family Missing." They had been the subjects of whispers long before I left for college. A shiver coursed through me as the front page began to flutter in an invisible breeze. A date at the top, June 15th. My birthday. That night, I slept fitfully amid these unsettling revelations. Chapter 2. The Shadow in the Mirror. Days blurred together, and the house remained still during the day, but transformed with nightfall into a maelstrom of unexplained events. Shadows in my mirror, dark silhouettes that coalesced and vanished before they could be defined. Whispers turned to urgent screams. Then, an unmistakable thump came from upstairs. Footsteps heavy enough to shatter glass, followed by the scrape of wood against floorboards. I ventured up with trepidation, flashlight trembling in my hand. In the darkened hallway, a mirror stood cracked, reflecting a shadowy figure huddled on the bed. As I approached, it rose slowly into view. A girl not much older than me, wild hair and a look of perpetual fear in those sunken eyes. The door slammed shut behind her, plunging us into darkness. A hand extended towards me, pale skin adorned with an unconvincing, painted dot-on smile. In the flash of my light, she turned to flee, but the glass shattered, shattering as well, shards cascading down upon her formless back before disappearing without a trace. Days blurred, and so did reality. Shadows materialized more frequently during the day now. Hulking, dark forms in every corner, watching me from beneath low-hanging eaves or crouched in the corners of rooms I once called my own. In these eerie interludes, they seemed to be waiting for something or someone. One fateful morning, after a sleepless night, I discovered a newspaper clipping tacked to the kitchen door. Our photograph from the missing persons file plastered upon it with red X's marked through each of us. My heart pounded in my chest as a single crimson slash marred my mother's image. Each day at dusk brought new additions, police reports, missing posters, and a chilling headline that read the Elm Street abductions. The stories told by an elderly neighbor I'd always thought a recluse. Stories of children taken during the early hours under moonlight, never to return. Mirrors became portals or gateways. In one frame, her ghostly silhouette faced me, eyes wide with desperation. In another, a child crouched amidst shards of glass, staring up at me. I was torn between fascination and fear as they materialized within their reflective worlds. The girl who escaped my bedroom appeared again, beckoning through the broken mirror. A hesitant approach led to her room, where she lay motionless on the bed, eyes closed but not sleeping, skin ghastly pale with dark circles under them. I reached out to touch her hand. It was cold and clammy when our palms met, sealing our connection. Her voice was a mere whisper. "Find me." The words were all I could make out as she vanished in a thin air, leaving behind my trembling reflection staring back, a mocking echo of myself. Chapter 3. The Last Whisper. The mirror became the central stage for our ballet. Each night, she appeared, pleading with haunting eyes to find her, leading me on this twisted dance between worlds. Shadows moved in unison with us now, dark specters of something malevolent lurking just beyond my sight. The girl's whisper sharpened. "Save me." One last time I followed, hands trembling as they did beneath the glass threshold. A world that was once familiar opened wide like a long, dried book, revealing an attic. Faded trunks lined the walls bearing labels: David, Abigail, Sarah, and one with my name scrawled in childish handwriting. Emily. Abandoning curiosity, I tugged it open to find childhood snapshots amidst yellowed clothing and a lock of curly hair that could have belonged to Sarah or myself. Outside, moonlight painted the roof in a silver glow. A figure descended from above, face obscured by a fedora. "You're next," he said as his hand closed around my arm with a bruising force. In the trunk, I unearthed more: a small knife, a newspaper cutout bearing Sarah's story dated June 15th. My birthday, all in this house. A second photograph showed an old man forcing Abigail into a vehicle under moonlight. They were missing girls from years past, the abducted children of Elm Street. The man's grip tightened as he pulled me up, dragging us towards his darkened car when I heard all at once, my heart pounding out its own death knell in my ears. I lunged for the broken glass to confront him, but a spectral procession spilled down behind us. Every child from past and present that vanished here, including myself as an infant on my birthday. A maelstrom of moonlight illuminated the roof where they waited, skin chalky, eyes hollows under sunken sockets. Their faces were those I used to know. A hand shot out, a familiar one, my own mother's. The man's face was revealed, my father. We drove with reckless abandon until we reached the old woods behind our home. With all these ghosts by my side, I confronted him in an abandoned shack near the eerie clearing. No words were needed to understand his purpose. He'd abducted us as children to keep them from this house and its sinister pull, hoping they'd never return. As dawn approached, he aimed a knife for me, but was cut down by Sarah's blade plunged deep into his chest. The girl I first saw appeared, grabbing the weapon to finish him off, then vanished in a flash of moonlight. In the chaos that followed, she remained, her back against my mirror, eyes filled with an unspoken plea. In this house, where childhood tales and horrors converged, I found myself the abductor's daughter from 20 years ago. No longer lost, not as long as she stood beside me. Together we walked into dawn, the only light coming from a distant window in the shack. In its glow, my reflection met her gaze for the first time. Her eyes locked onto mine with an understanding that echoed our fate. Born of Elm Street, yet destined to find peace together. We made it back home before sunrise and fled. No more shadows, just whispers from the abyss. The girl spoke on the drive. "You see the ghost you want." I looked away once. Our bond was forged in blood and a mirror's power. My parents were alive, living but never seen again. Outside our house stood 2 wooden crosses bearing the names of my friends Sarah and Abigail. The wind carried an anguished cry as night enveloped us once more. There, beneath a silver moon, I broke free from that world forever entwined with theirs, shedding skin like skin upon the water surface. A photograph slipped into my hand. They smiled, smiling for the first time since their abduction, together. My eyes met David's in the night sky as he mouthed free before disappearing. As I stood there alone, a name was etched onto the mirror: Abigail. The final reflection shattered when it was my turn to face the world anew. I found them, parents alive, yet forever trapped in darkness. My birthday dawned with sunlight, a new life awaiting me on this side of broken glass.